Hello everyone, doing a quick audio check. How's my sound? Can you hear me all right? I'll be starting in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Wow, that is quite a powerful train whistle. Good afternoon and welcome to a special, well, it's not so special. This is not going to be anything special whatsoever, but it is a Saturday edition of the Coding Train with me, Dan. I'm excited to be live here with you. I made the decision to come and do this live stream about 30 minutes ago, so I apologize for the sort of last minute notice. I really do need to do one of the wonderful things about having sponsors of the Coding Train. I want to thank today's sponsor of the Coding Train. Oh, and I have to go over here to do this. Brilliant. Brilliant.org is a wonderful interactive learning website for lifelong learners with so many different courses about topics that I cover here on the Coding Train. You can check out Brilliant for free at brilliant.org/coding-train. I will come back and look at some of the courses a little bit later. But what I wanted to say is, like, it's really good to have sponsors because it gets me to live stream. I don't know what this... I'm seeing 42 and 47 being typed into the chat. What are these numbers here? Darth Taurus and Quibble here are typing in numbers. I think this is a reminder for me to give our newest member, Abhe, their random number. But I was introducing myself, so thank you to Brilliant, the sponsor of today's live stream. I will most typically not be live streaming on the weekends in 2021, as I discussed during the regularly scheduled live stream last Friday. But I wasn't able to live stream yesterday, Friday, because I was in the recording studio making new Nature of Code tutorial videos for Chapter 3. So I'll come and show some of the examples that I coded up yesterday. Hopefully I'm going to get into some rhythm and momentum, and the new videos are going to be coming out.
Sorry,
Ooh,
I couldn't.
Okay, yeah. Stop talking to me, Watch. So stay tuned for information about that. And the chat is amusing me. Dan says, Ray J, can you please do a series of tutorials on shaders in P5JS, or whatever other platform you prefer. This is definitely something on my list. I don't know when I will be able to carve out the time. I think one of the things that would be fun about doing video tutorials or live streams about shaders, and excuse me while I wipe my nose here for a second, is that I don't really know shader programming. I have tinkered with shader programming. I understand some of the higher level concepts associated with the graphics pipeline and how shaders fit in to creative coding and computer graphics coding, but it's not something I have any real experience with. It's not something that I've taught a workshop on. So it would be great for a series of kind of like learn along with me, which is really the vibe that I'm going for with the coding train. So keep reminding me about that. Right now I have a pretty singular focus, which is the nature of code, and I will talk about that. I mean, I'm talking about it now, but I'm going to keep talking about it during today's live stream and show some coding examples from that, kind of let you know where I am with that. So Choo Choo from the Coding Garden, says Jeremias. Was the Coding Garden, I really try, it's impossible to not ever like live stream at the same time as something else going on in the universe. But a sibling channel I think to the Coding Train is Coding Garden, and sometimes I check to see if what Coding Garden's streaming schedule is. I know there's a lot of crossover between the audience and try not to conflict, but I didn't actually look too carefully or closely at that today. I want to also just welcome, I don't know, Oliver, if you're watching, but Oliver, whose name I saw pop up in the chat, Coding Train member, for a very long time, probably one of the original Patreon subscribers or supporters of the Coding Train. I haven't seen Oliver in a very long time, and so welcome back. Thrilling, wonderful to see your name. One of the fun things about doing the Coding Train is, it's a weird sort of thing. I get to know the audience, and I don't, what I mean by get to know is kind of a loose term there, because most of the audience, the people that I feel like I know and interact with and get to see their work and watch them grow and learn and make their own channels and tutorials and produce their own content, I've never actually met in person. Some of who I've never seen a photo of, even other than maybe sort of like a profile picture. But I do feel like I know many of you, especially as I see the names pop up often in the chat. So great to see you again, Oliver. Let's see. I would like to take care of some very important Coding Train business. And since Oliver is back, I think probably Oliver was not here when I started my new tradition of giving everyone who is a member, I want to give everyone in the world, all 1 million subscribers of the Coding Train, their own random number. But I got to start somewhere. I'm starting with people who subscribe to us members. And so we have 2 new members. Hello to Chris Manning, who's saying happy Saturday. Oh, cool. And people are saying they got my book for Christmas. So I wanted to, I think I should give Oliver their random number. And then their newest member, Abhay. He joined during one of my recording session for Nature of Code, and I was not able to provide his random number then. So let's get started with random number time. Oliver, probably one of the longest term members of the Coding Train. Thank you for your support over all of these years. And guess what? For your support of the Coding Train, you get your very own random number. I've been watching a lot of animated Clone Wars, and I can't stop speaking like the introduction to that. Okay, from page 319, row 15,925, column 61,634. Your random number is 37,213. Somebody mark that down for me. We're going to return to that because one of the things that I would like to do today is work on the random walk with random number generator for custom train whistle project. And Abhay, we had one of the longest, most long-term members ever of the Coding Train, and I think we also have here in the audience today the newest member of the Coding Train, Abhay. Abhay hails all the way from some part of the world. Please tell us in the chat where you're from, Abhay. And I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, so tell me how to pronounce it. Is the H silent? You, from page 183, column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, row 9,120. Your random number is 57,969. All right. Bangalore, India is where Abhay is from. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. That's so by the way, speaking of Bangalore, India, I didn't know that you were from there. Take a look at I think the website is, let me pull it up. Thank you again to the sponsor today. Brilliant. Let's look for Processing India. processingindia.org. So Processing India is I don't know what to, if I, to what extent it's an official organization, but it's a group of people in India who are celebrating and using processing, organized many different processing community days, pre-pandemic. And I do know, in fact, that there was one in Bangalore in particular because some of the organizers of Processing Community Day in Bangalore are alumni of the program at NYU where I teach called ITP. So Abhay, if you want to connect with them, maybe I can help facilitate that connection and you can meet some of your fellow processing enthusiasts in Bangalore. I do want to mention, I think I should mention this every live stream, that 2021, the year 2021, the year that we are in right now, which is not off to the best start. If I'm being so honest, I was kind of hoping, 2020, I don't know if you noticed, not the best year. Thought, well, new year, new leaf, let's get everything going. It's been a little rough here, especially in these United States where I live. But hopefully things will be looking up. Okay, but what was I talking about? 2021. Ah, yes! 2021 brings with it the 20th anniversary of Processing itself. Processing itself was created, I believe, in August was maybe the first release of 2001 when I was a wee young lad in my 20s, actually just before I began graduate school at ITP. I had no awareness of the existence of processing at all when it began. I didn't encounter it till several years later. So this year hopefully will bring, whether they'll be all virtual and remote or whether things will be able to start to improve in terms of our ability to be physically present with each other, I don't know, but some form of celebration of the 20th anniversary of processing. So I would say stay tuned to processingfoundation.org, the Twitter account, the various social media accounts for things that might come up around that celebration. I was sort of thinking back to the history. I think if I search for Rhizome, Schiffman, Reese, Fry. Yeah, so this is something that I did, in 2009, back when in the sort of early days of me getting involved with processing itself. I did an interview with Casey and Ben, and I don't know why all the images are missing. That's kind of sad for me, around the origins of processing. So let's see. It was sometime in June 2001. As I was finishing up at MIT, we made a list of the basic specs for the environment and drawing functions. It was one 8.5, 11-inch typed page. By the fall, Ben had something working, and the first workshop took place in Japan in August 2001. Okay, interesting. So anyway, I'm excited to sort of read this over again. I think this is what I was looking for. People ask, where does the 5 in P5 come from? So this is actually the answer to it right here. Not when we started the project, but we've second guessed the name many times since. First, it was an iterative name with the characters always changing. So processing with a 0 for the O, a 5 for the S, 3, a 1. Then we more conservatively started using processing with the 5 5s for the alpha version. So that's moved to processing a few cases. I regret not calling it seal. I think Ben wanted to call it bagel or potato. So think about what would the world be like right now. Actually, I think bagel is pretty awesome. If we were all just here being and now I'm going to show you how to program your own Fractal in bagel.js. Maybe we could put some locks. We'd all be making libraries that are locks.js and capers.js, tomato.js. That's pretty great. So this is pretty cool to read about and think about. Obviously many years later, P5.js came around with Lauren McCarthy. The world of contributors to processing in P5 has really exploded. And what I would like to say, one of the things that's been wonderful is to see the inclusiveness and diversity of that community, which really was not present for so many years, a real failing of, the open source community. I think that's really, not perfect by any means. There is lots of work to do, but has greatly improved. And hello to Julia in the chat. Julia, our newest moderator. I am a low res. I don't even know what to call all these programs. So this is cool to sort of like spontaneous look up. Let's think about what we can do as the Coding Train community to celebrate the 20th anniversary of processing this year. Okay. By the way, I have no agenda. This is the thing. I really want to be an organized person who plans a sort of like live stream show with an agenda and things that I'm planning to do. Guests, a schedule. I'm going to get there someday. It might not be for a long time. It might be when I like retire and I just could like be at home as a much older person. I'm already kind of old, but a much older person. What am I even talking about? Live streaming. I have this fantasy plan. I'm going to just put this out into the universe right now. I don't know if I should be discussing this, if it makes sense, but let me just put this out into the universe right now while I have you, a captive audience of 322, an auspicious number, by the way, 322. If anyone wants to try to figure out what my connection with the number 322 is, go forth. I don't know. Let's see if anybody can come up with that. I don't think there'll be any way that anybody will figure this out, but I have a certain connection with the number 322. But I have, knock on wood, a sabbatical from my full-time teaching job, starting 1 year from right now. And I had one previously. I don't know if anybody remembers. I spent actually, this was kind of before I really started the Coding Train. So I don't know why you would remember this. I've been making videos since probably 2012 at least. But, sorry, I hear the pitter patter of little feet and I'm always wondering if someone's going to come and interrupt me. Speaking of which, I have to leave at 3 because the reason why I was able to get this live stream spot is my kids are doing a Zoom baking class right now, making some kind of almond flour citrus cake tart thing, and at 3 o'clock we're going to have, speaking of London, we're going to have an afternoon tea and eat that, so it's going to be done. But let me get back to what I was talking about. So we had a wonderful adventure. We as a family lived in London for the semester, and I'm looking into doing that again next spring. But with COVID, it's sort of unclear what makes sense to do, what's appropriate, what's safe. Will we be back to normal? We will never be back to, I don't know if we ever were normal. I certainly wasn't. But if you live somewhere in the world where you think it might make sense for me to spend a sabbatical semester with family, reach out to me. Let me know. I have some ideas I'm sort of thinking about in this. My fantasy actually is to have a house in the country, some countryside somewhere with like a barn, and I could set up a whole recording studio there, and that would be my project for the sabbatical semester. So that's when I'll be organized with my weekly live show. So I'm just putting this out there, starting to think about it. It's not for a year, but yeah, I had this fantasy of living in Japan. I've never been to Japan. I looked into that for a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I might just stay here in my attic in Brooklyn and have a nice semester sabbatical. I'm very privileged and lucky to be able to have the opportunities that I have. So love the hearts popping up the screen. I kind of forgot that those were there. So the hearts are an overlay in Open Broadcast Studio, which is exactly based on my Fireworks coding challenge. It's just running directly. And I put it on for something that I was recording. Oh, yes. I have to make this video this weekend. I forgot about it. And Iceland. Ooh, that's exciting. Nicobar Islands. I've never heard of that. That's kind of interesting to think about. But I forgot to turn them off. So there they are. Okay. So let's see. I just want to take a minute here. So let me make a list of some things that I might work on today. And I'm going to go to the Rainbow Topics repository, which has my Spring 2021 doc. So, I have something actually. This is probably a really bad idea, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something in a minute. So I'm looking at this. So first of all, this is now done. Oh, you don't see what I'm looking at. Apologies. I'm looking at my sort of like list of things I want to work on for this spring. And this is what I recorded yesterday. And I want to talk about, actually I have a kind of a new exciting way of recording that I thought I might mention. And I also made a sample sort of pilot version of my, what I'm calling JavaScript Express Dots or JavaScript Bytes, little short tutorial videos about JavaScript concepts. I would really like to expand this list. If I were a different person, I would make these on TikTok or something. I noticed, by the way, that Scott Hanselman, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Scott Hanselman, who's really a wonderful educator and works at outreach person. People are making wonderful suggestions about places. England is bad. I wouldn't recommend it here. England is a wonderful place. I have a soft spot for the UK. I was just remembering some wonderful times I had there. One of the things that is a requirement for me in my travel is I need a place with schools, in particular for what will be a 5th grader and a 7th grader. And so like that's sort of like a complicating factor. I have to really plan that in advance. So what espresso shots. So I really wanted to be train themed. So like espresso, that really does make sense though. But I'm gonna play something for you. I actually have. This is never going to be released, and I haven't actually watched it. I hope Mathieu doesn't kill me for doing this. But I'm looking for it. I have just the sort of sample rough cuts, about 3.5 minutes of just the idea of how these videos would work. So I thought maybe I'll play it I can't find it right now. I thought I would play it for you. I'm just looking for it. Weird, I just had it open. I don't know why it's not in my history. Here it is. I'm gonna make it full screen. Let me move over here. Do you see this? So here I am in front of it, but I'm going to move myself away and mute myself. I'm going to play this approximately I have not watched this. This is a rough cut, just a sample edit of the idea of these new videos that will be less than 5 minutes long each. And this one is about the concept of a template literal. So I would love to hear your feedback of what you think about it. This is not live. People will be confused for a second. I'm going to just, again, I'm going to leave here and I'm going to hit play. I'm not 100% sure whether the audio is going to come through. So if it doesn't, I'll have to start over. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, play. Okay, so the audio is definitely not coming through. Oh, let me fix that. I know how to fix that. It's not too hard. Chrome, I have to turn Chrome on. Going out to USB capture. Let me get back to this. Full screen. Give me a second here. And back to this. And here we go again. Try number 2. What's that? Is that the express train? It is! This is a new series I've got going here where I'm going to make short, bite-size, if you will. That's right, bite spelled B-Y-T-E, video tutorials about quick concepts in JavaScript, in modern JavaScript that I've started to adopt in a lot of the coding challenges and other P5JS video tutorials that I'm doing. And the first stop on the express train is template literals. What is a template literal? You have probably in your coding life done things like A in quotes plus B in quotes. The plus operator with a string, with 2 strings, concatenates the string. And we have the result AB. This is particularly useful when you want to console log something for debugging, and you want to console log x position colon plus the variable x. However, there is a much better way of doing that now in JavaScript, which eliminates the need for this plus, and it allows you to evaluate expressions directly in a string itself. And if you use the backticks and your string x position colon, if I want to now evaluate an expression and display the result or just the value of a variable, I can use $, curly brackets, the name of the variable, curly brackets. So this is the way to embed an expression inside of a string. Let's take a look at that actually in action in the code. This is a quick P5.js example, which is just displaying the time. I have 3 variables calling hour, minute, and second. And then I'm putting together this string. I want to take the hour plus the colon plus the minute plus a colon plus the second, and we can see the result right over there in the window. It's about 3:06 p.m. Eastern time. I just spent 3 hours figuring out how to get the cameras to work in a way that I could record this video. So thank you very much for being here. I hope I'm making sense here. I am now going to change this to having a template literal. I'm going to write text, then I'm going to use the backtick, and I'm going to say evaluate the variable h, then put a colon, then evaluate the variable m, then put a colon, evaluate the variable s, and then this, I would like to display this at 200, 200. I can comment this out, run the sketch again, and it's the exact same result, but now with a template literal. Template literals allow you to do all sorts of things. You know, I could actually have an expression like m times 2 that would get evaluated. I'm not sure why I would want to do that, but you can see the number went from 7 to 14. You can also use line breaks right inside of a template literal. So if I do this, we can see, look at this. That line break is maintained in the string and displayed in the way that I'm drawing on the canvas. So this is a bit of a weird example of this. Circling back to the console log idea, here is one of my bouncing ball in P5.js examples. And if I had some issue with it, where maybe it wasn't performing the way that I had hoped, I could do a console log, and I could say, x position colon x. This is also a nice application of using a template literal. Thanks for watching. See you at the next stop on the Coding Train Express. Oh. Ah. Help! Where am I? Ah, here I am. By the way, I wanted to see if we could get a quick, if I could zoom in on that. You can see here, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to zoom way in. That is actually the Coding Train logo laser etched onto this train whistle, which I have been, that's sort of topic of today, but you can't really see that. Okay. Oh, so people are giving positive feedback there. So that's, I was kind of planning to redo that video. There's some technical issues in the way that it was recorded, quality wise. But hold on, let me go back to here. I need to just reorient myself. I didn't realize I had multiple browser things open, and I'm kind of lost here. All right, so I'm coming back. I'm let me turn that off again and come back to here. Oh, it's so hard to do things while you're live streaming. And yeah, all right, back to here. So, bobber, a slang word for a small caboose with just 4 wheels, all rigidly mounted to the frame. This design was common in the 1800s. Bobber refers to the bouncing motion of such a caboose in motion. Cool, that's kind of an interesting idea. I like that idea. It's replacing my bell here. Okay. Enhance, yeah. All right, so that's coming soon. Thank you. I guess I got some. If anybody has any feedback or thoughts in particular, I would really love to expand this list. The thing that I'm trying to create something useful for people so that they can have very quick access to kind of understanding some new features and conventions of JavaScript itself that are sort of outside of the bounds of my kind of other creative coding curriculum otherwise. But also, one of the things I find myself doing constantly is in every video tutorial I want to put in, for example, a console log, and I start using a template literal, and then I feel like I need to explain what a template literal is, and then it adds like 3 minutes to the video, and then it's in like 10 different videos. So I'm trying to sort of figure out if that's if that's what I can do. Okay. Are you planning to record any videos in this live stream, says Christopher? So I really have completely separated the live streaming component from the tutorial recording component. So this live stream is just me blabbering on and on for about another hour. And the tutorials I record separately during the week in the recording studio that I use. Those I do live stream, but those recording sessions are pretty informal. There's a lot of time of me just tinkering around, but you can join as a Coding Train member to have access to those streams as well. Otherwise, just wait. The videos will all be released. Okay, so let's see what I want to do. Simon's giving me a suggestion about generator functions. Not for today, but I do like that suggestion. I have some things that I definitely want to do. So I want to show you something. I think I should just show this to you now because it's like one of the most exciting things that I've come across in a long time. And it's a little bit outside of the scope of coding. And I'm trying to think of what might be some interesting ways that I could come up with a creative coding project that would make use of this technology. But I want to log into Runway, which is a tool for creating content using machine learning models that I use in a lot of different projects and tutorials. You've seen me probably train StyleGAN models and GPT-2 models, which is a generative text model. Runway has introduced something called green screen. And green screen, it's what's right here. It's what I use, an actual literal green screen. To key out the background. And you'll notice that this is something that machine learning models are now able to intelligently do without a uniform background of a single color like green. For example, if you've been in any video calls these days, which you probably have, might realize like, oh, Zoom has virtual background, for example. How does that work? Well, there's a machine learning model that's been trained on a lot of images. Again, I don't actually know exactly what Zoom is using, but I'm just speculating here. It's been trained on a lot of images that are labeled of people. Here are all the pixels of the person's silhouette. Here are all the pixels of the background. We'll learn to differentiate those. Here's a new image. Mask it out on the fly. So how Runway ML has a tool for doing this green screening with any video and any kind of object. And it's like totally mind-blowing. So let me log into Runway for a second. I'm just, in case I have to like, okay, wait, I think this is gonna be perfect. So the one thing that I need right now is a video. So come on, log in. And I'm gonna so by the way, first of all, you could just go to runwayml.com to follow along. You actually don't need an account, and the green screen feature is totally free to use. The only thing you won't have is access to, without a paid subscription, is being able to export, I think, the green screen videos at like 1080p. But I wanted to just poke around and look at this briefly, and I'm gonna come back in a future live stream and do more with this. I just wanted to sort of like start. So let's see, what can I do here? I guess I could make just like a video of myself. I didn't really think this through. I don't have let's see, do I have a video of like Gloria? Let's see, let me look on my fancy television phone. I like to call these TV phones. My television phone here. Let me search for dog. And I must have probably a cute video with Gloria running around. Categories dog. How do I find a cute video of Gloria running around? Here's one. It's just 3 seconds. That's not going to do. Find one. Somebody wants to suggest like an interesting video. Well, this is like a really sad failure. Let me just make a video of myself. I'm just gonna record a video, and then I'll. So let's see. What can I record? Let's try. Let's try recording a video of this train whistle. We'll see how well it does. This is hard. Okay, a little behind the scenes here of the coding train. It's such a mess. There's you're going to see my lights and a camera and a drum set here. Let's hit record. I'm here in an attic, and I'm going to move this around. This is really weird what I'm doing. Okay, so that was about like a 10-second video. Let me also just do a quick video of myself, just to see how well that works. I'm going to hold this up. Oh, I meant to do it with this aspect ratio. Okay. Okay. We got 2 videos now. And I am going to, I'm going to see if I can just transfer them to my laptop really quickly. Let's see if this will work. I might have to turn AirDrop on. I think that'll probably be the most efficient way for me to do this. Allow me to be discovered by, I'll just say everyone. I had it at I have it usually set to no one. MacBook. Okay, I'm sending these 2 videos. And they should be there now. So let's go to here and see. All right, so I'm going to, so here I am. This is one video with me moving this like Mario toy. And then the other one is here with me and moving this train whistle around. Is the audio lost? No, okay. So let's try, let's try first. So I'm going to do start editing. So I am going, oh, look, they have example videos that I could pick. So I probably should have just used one of these, but let's upload both of these. Both of these videos. I guess I can only do them one at a time. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to upload one. Did it upload? Ah, there it is. Upload. Yes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next is open it up. So this is a browser tool. I could watch the tutorial, which would be great for me to do, but I'm going to skip that right now. And basically, what I can do is click on elements of the scene that I want to track and mask out. Basically, rotoscope. This is equivalent of AI, machine learning based rotoscoping. So I'm going to say, like, let me just track this. And so I did 3 clicks and it sort of found this. But I want to now say I don't want my hand maybe. So I'm going to like exclude my hand. So it's just tracking now just the top of this mushroom. So let's see what happens if I then go to preview. And it's now running the model over all the scenes. Oh my God. Look at that. I don't know if you understand what's going on. Look what this just did. I mean, that is insane. Oh my, I still like, this is like so crazy to me. So now what I could do is I could go back. Let's see what I wanted to do if I wanted to stop this. And I could go back to include, like, what if I wanted to actually have me as part of this? So I could keep including more things, get my hand. So now, let me go to preview and see. And it's a little tricky to see because I've got this green screen here, but, and it, let's see. So could I, in the place where it fails, I think what I could do is pause and then include, click some more. And now preview again. But I lost my hand, which is, so I guess, can I keep doing this and adding more things to include where it misses it? So can I do like this? And then I could do exclude, like I don't want this area here. Oh, I do, because that's part of the object. Include. That's part of the object too. Preview. I'm just sort of like, I'm trying to understand how to like iterate over this. There we go. I think I've got it now. I think I've got it now. There's a few. See, why does it now? It loses my hand over where? Here. So can I stop there and like tell it to include it? See, now I've lost the rest of me there. So weird. So this is what I'm confused about. And actually, this is good. I'm going to send them some feedback. Like, how do I mean, it's definitely perfect for like almost all those frames. And then there's just like, actually, maybe I have gotten it. I just want to see like this. Like this is, right. So how can I get, I mean, this, first of all, this is just crazy how well this is working. But no, so how can I, if can I keep going? Oh, look at this. What are these markers here? Like, that's weird. Like, what does that mean? Like, there's a marker down here on the bottom. I don't know what this means. But let me try to. There we go. Get more points. Oh, that's where I clicked before. Okay. So let's see now. It's got to rerun the model over everything. So this looks good. So there's just a few places where I've kind of like, I lost my hand here. Okay. Why do I have exclude? If these are exclude points, how do I delete them? Ah, okay. There we go. Ah, okay, there we go. I must have clicked exclude by accident, which is what was messing it up. All right, I think I've got it now. I think I had some exclude points there by accident. I don't remember clicking where I messed it up. So there's I just want to see, like, can I get this perfect? There we go. Okay, looking good. Still some like a couple, I'm like obsessed with getting this exactly right. Oh, do I need to add everything? Maybe I need to add everything on the different keyframes I'm doing. That's what people, I think that's what I'm being told. Like if I do this, like if I'm adding to this frame, I got to do everything. So now I think, pro tip, don't skip the tutorial. Let's see how this is going. Okay, this is looking good now. Just one, a couple little glitches. One is here, like it's not getting my finger. But now I need to make sure, even on this frame, I get everything. I see. Like if I click into one frame, okay, so that's good. And then, all right, so let's, okay, getting everything, getting everything, getting everything. Okay, so just a little break here, probably because I didn't realize. Okay. I really think that I'm going to have this now. All the dots is the keyframe. Delete all the dots and place the pointer in the beginning of the video. Okay, I think I've got it now. One little glitchy spot. Just one little glitchy spot, like right here. I feel like I'm going over and over again. This is wild, by the way. Okay. There we go. So that was perfect. There's only thing, I'm like you know me, I get really obsessive and stubborn. Like it bothers me that this finger is missed. So what I'm not realizing is that when I edit on a particular frame, I've got to sort of click on everything. This is probably not really, I think one thing is this is not really what it is designed for, in the sense that it's much better at tracking like actual like individual objects inside of a video, and I'm kind of taking up so much of it. But I think now I've got something. Let's give this a try. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, so now I can do this. And I should be able to do things like under export now. Give myself like a different background like this. Let's try that. And I should be able to do export video. And now it's, I think this is the one thing that you won't be able to do necessarily. Actually, let's let that export. Let's try the other video that I uploaded. So let's go to videos. Let's try, oh, didn't I upload another one? Upload, because I only did that one. Let's try this one. Is it uploading? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's try this one. It's loading this video. Now I'm just going to click on this and hit preview. Now this is just only the first frame. I just clicked in a few things in the first frame. Look at that. Holy moly. Now do I want my hand? That's what I'm not sure. This is crazy how well this works. So let's decide I'm going to keep my hand. It hates my fingers. So look at that. I mean, pretty amazing stuff. Let's see if I can exclude my hand. I'm curious about trying to do that. So let's go to this frame that I've already done. How do I tell when I'm on a frame that I've already done? Like, I feel like it should show me the points. When I can delete it, I guess I can delete it, but how do I change? I want to like exclude. Well, I'm just going to try this. Ah, okay. Now I'm there. And now I want to exclude. I want to exclude my hand. So it's going to be really hard. And then I want to include. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's just preview now and see what happens. So here, for example, I want to exclude my hand. And include the whistle. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's hard for it to separate, right? But it's doing a pretty darn good job. So if I go here and do exclude, include, Guess what, everybody? Welcome to Le Jeune Renard. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You've joined the coding train. Ah! And I got sleepy in the last few minutes. Oh, I got to do my sponsor segment. Your very own random number, Le Jeune Renard, is... Oh, if only I could remember my French well enough. I'll just do it in English. On page 85, column 4, row 4,210, your random number is 5,678. Okay, I'm going to put this away. I hopefully, like, I've shown you sort of like how amazing this is. Obviously, like, there's some finessing here that I would need to do to get this perfect. I have to. I can't stop. Let's improve it. Let's improve it. I have to. It's just the way that I work. And then exclude the fingers. Okay. So now let's preview this. I want to get this perfect. Okay. Okay, so already I want to, on this frame, exclude the hand. There we go. Christopher Tube HD. Welcome to the coding train. Mwah! It is so nice to have your membership. We're getting all these new random numbers. We definitely need to work on our random number pattern generator thingy-mabobber. All right, we're so close, everybody. Christopher Tube HD, your random number is 12,127. That's page 227, column 2, row 11,315. All right. Okay. This is pretty good. Oh, no. Okay, it's all right. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna fix up this frame and exclude some of the fingers down here. There we go. And now preview it. Okay. If you check the demo on the website, you will see they talk about changing the background non-moving. If you move the camera, it makes the video hard to parse. Yeah, that makes sense. So the fact that the camera is not stable is probably like a major issue. But look, even with that, look how much of this I was able to work. And I'm sure if I kept at this, I would get it. Let's go to videos. I'm just curious. Like, let's pick one of their sample videos, like this moose. And let's see how this works. So if I, like, for example, what if I want this tree? Like, I'm going to do what is unexpected with this video. And now do preview. It's working well with that tree that's in one place. How do I reset? Can I reset everything? There's got to be a reset everything. Or maybe I can do this remove. Okay, so I removed that. Now let's click on the moose. Whoa, this is wild. Okay, and now preview. Pretty amazing, huh? Now, oh, I guess I was like, where did its feet go? Its feet are gone because it's in the snow. This is pretty amazing. Okay, so I wanted to show this because I want to sort of like figure out like what's something I could use this for. So if you have any ideas, I hope people will try this. Like, actually, one of the things that I've run into is every once in a while I've wanted to key myself out of a video that I had pre-recorded without the green screen. So this is certainly a tool that I could use with that. So anyway, I'm definitely curious to hear your feedback about this, and give this a try, and I'll return to this and try to use it a bit more in a future live stream. Okay. So the thing that I want to work on today is I want to work on okay, I want to show some of the examples from the nature of code that I've been working on. I'm just looking at the chat here. I'm going to take just a short, I only have till like 3, so I'm going to take a really short, like literally just like a 1-minute break. But before I take my 1-minute break, I would like to thank today's sponsor of the coding train. It is my friends over at Brilliant. So what is Brilliant? Let me move over here to show you one of just some of examples of what you can do on Brilliant. So first of all, it's a new year. I don't know if you know this, but it's a new year, and you might be like looking to start. It's a little late, maybe January 16th for New Year's resolutions. I'm not a big New Year's resolutions kind of person, but I do like to sort of start off a new year a little bit fresh, and get started like I'm doing now with the nature of code. And so I think that Brilliant, if you're looking for something new to sort of build into your life, Brilliant is something that you might consider thinking about. It's a website, it's an app, it makes learning interactive, accessible, and fun. So it's all based on problem solving and active learning. So all of the courses, you can see the concepts visually and interact with them. So it's another way of learning the kinds of content that I do on the coding train, but without having to just sit and listen to somebody. You can actually practice through interactive exercises. The thing that I really love about it is there's no tests, no grades. There's all these courses. They're just fun to try. I constantly get stuff wrong. What I'm showing you here on the screen right now is the Geometry Fundamentals course, which is one of my favorite ones. The two that I would really recommend that are kind of most relevant to things that are on the coding train is one is the course on neural networks. So if you've watched any of my videos about AI and machine learning and want to kind of dive deeper into that, looking at the neural networks course on the Brilliant website, I would really recommend. You can see here's an interactive example of neural network recognizing digits. You can also look at, let me just bring this up here. I constantly get in the comments of my videos, do you have any courses on Python? I really want to learn Python. And so I don't, Brilliant has a course called Programming with Python, which you can see you can actually type code into the lessons themselves, test it, run it, and this is actually something that I've been really excited to go through and kind of improve my knowledge of the Python programming language itself, so that I could eventually make videos. So there's over 60 of these interactive courses in math, science, and computer science. It helps you achieve your goals in STEM, starting with one small commitment to learning and building up to long-term challenge and growth. Brilliant will puzzle you, surprise you, and expand your understanding of the modern world. So you can get started for free just by going to brilliant.org/coding train. You can try it out and look at what's on the website. And then if you're interested in unlocking everything that Brilliant has to offer with a premium subscription, if you go through that link, you will get a 20% discount. So one of the new courses that they just launched that I was curious to highlight for a moment is the course called Statistics Fundamentals. So let me see here. I haven't looked at this one at all. I saw it in the information that Brilliant sent to me, that this is a new course. I saw some of the preview images. I was like, oh, this is exactly some of the stuff I talk about in the introduction to Nature of Code. So let's go through and let's just sort of see how well I do with just this first quiz. All right, so let's see how, I want to show you a little bit about how Brilliant works. The mean or average of a set of numbers is the sum of the numbers over how many numbers are in the set. Okay, so if I want to calculate the mean or the average of the numbers 3, 5, and 10, I add them all together, I divide by 3, and I get 6. Perfect. So in the visualization below, the purple dot above the line automatically, Simon is correcting me. Is it not Statistics Fundamentals that's the newest course? Is it Statistics 1? Is that different, Simon? Simon is like always helping me out. I love how the audience helps me out with Brilliant stuff. But I'm gonna look at this anyway, and then let me know if I'm in the wrong one, Simon. How do I get to the correct one? But let's go with this one anyway, because I like how this exercise looks. In the visualization below, the purple dot above the line is automatically shows the mean of A, B, C, and D. So like if I change the number, we can see how the average is changing. Look at this. So one of the things I love about this is it's like, oh, I want to build this in P5.js. Now, I don't know if this is exactly the thing I want to build, but every time I go through one of their exercises, it's like, especially some of the geometry ones, and that there's some physics related ones, are always giving me ideas. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to courses. Simon is really telling me that there's one called Statistics 1. So I'm going to see if I can find it. Browse all probability statistics in finance, probability fundamentals, statistics fundamentals. I'm gonna look here, find this information. Statistics 1. Yeah, there I see. I have the link. Brilliant.org/courses advanced statistics -I. There we go. This is the course that I was meant to find. Thank you, Simon, for correcting me. I was looking at an older design. So this is with their sort of newer design and newer animations. So let's look at the first quiz here. Let's go back for a second and read here. Decisions and judgments we make are based on limited or incomplete information. Amidst all this uncertainty, statistics plays a special role. So the first quiz is going to explore how probability is used in statistics to make informed decisions. So we're looking at Rupert here. Built a lucrative career, convincing his audience that he can defy the very laws of nature, but it's all sleight of hand and well-crafted illusions designed to fool the senses. So when he hears about Alberta the Oracle, who claims that she draws the answer to any yes or no question from supernatural sources, he set out to determine the truth for himself. Rupert thinks Alberta is just a good guesser, right? I'm using my Clone Wars voice again. So he gathers a stockpile of yes or no questions that only he can answer and then heads out from Magicians Alliance HQ one cold and foggy night to put the Oracle out to the test. Okay. In the Oracle's parlor, Rupert takes a seat, thanks his host for the opportunity, then poses his first question. Suppose for the moment that Alberta really does just guess the answer to every question she's been given by responding yes or no with equal probability. What's the I think I'm going to get this one right. I was so worried this is going to be too hard for me. What's the probability that Alberta answers Rupert's first question correctly just by guessing? By the way, my kids who are currently in 4th and 6th grade, probability is something that I always try to talk to them about. And it's really, I love seeing sort of like, I mean, they're not really, really young children, but I'll say that sort of child's eye view of how to make guesses according to probability and what kind of assumptions they make. And they're actually learning about probability and fractions in school. So this is great. I should really go through this with them. But let's see. What's the probability that Alberta answers Rupert's first question correctly just by guessing? So I think this is going to be 1 out of 2, right? If there's only 2 possible answers and you pick one randomly, well, one of them is correct, one of them is wrong. 1 out of 2 is correct. Let's try that. Correct. And this one, by the way, 98% of people got this right. And one of the things I like about Brilliant, by the way, is it's very kind to you and gives you like sort of positive, encouraging feedback. There's nothing wrong. In fact, like one of my happiest moments doing these kinds of things is when I get them wrong. So, and this is great. It's talking about probability distributions. So this is perfect. I'm going to stop here as I want to take a break and get back to some of the stuff that I want to code today. But you can see how this kind of content really just aligns with creative coding, the kinds of concepts you think about when programming systems and visualizations. And I hope that you'll consider checking it out. And if you do check it out, if you go to brilliant.org/coding train, that lets them know that you found Brilliant through the coding train and helps me out a little bit. Okay, so thank you so much. I've lost the chat. And Azam is saying, I am only 8 years old. Hi, Azam. Welcome. I hope it's not too late at night for you and you should be in bed. Go to sleep, young person. It's your internet dad telling you. But I'm so glad that you're here. That's so kind of you. So I'm going to literally just take a break that is 2 minutes long. And I would encourage you to sign up for Brilliant during this break. And I'll be right back to get working on some actual code projects. I got to work on my sort of like live streaming plans. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, I am back. Very short break as promised, and I am going to do some coding now. One of the things that I started, the thing that I'm working the most on right now, let's just see if we can find this. This is what I'm looking at. This particular playlist is a playlist of videos for the Nature of Code book that I was working on a year ago. I got all the way up to chapter 2, and I started recording the first 3 videos for chapter 3. So the topic of chapter 3, if I go to the book, is oscillating motion. And so if I go to the web editor, I can sort of, that I was using as I was recording the tutorials yesterday, I can sort of pull up some of the examples real quick. So for example, the thing that I started with is just looking at how to deal with angular motion. So how to keep track of an angle that you increment over time and use translate and rotate to spin something in P5. A very basic starting concept. From there, I moved on to kind of adding the idea of angular velocity and angular acceleration. So here, as I move the mouse back and forth, I can kind of, as if I'm applying a force to spin this. So you can sort of see this is what the video tutorials are going through. I also then I'm just looking at these Nature of Code angular motion. Kind of added that idea to these objects that are from the gravitational forces examples. So these objects are turning and rotating based on how they're moving about this space, not in a realistic way, in a somewhat arbitrary way. Just recapping what's going to come up in these videos. What was next? From there, I looked at how you can have something using sort of thinking about angles with vectors, how you can take those objects and have them point in the direction that they're moving. So you can see that's happening here in this example. All of these examples will be with the video tutorials. I'm getting somewhere. Trust me, I'm getting to a point of this. And then I looked at how this is related to kind of also this idea of like a asteroids-like ship. So if I have the angle that the ship is pointing, I can create a vector from that angle and then apply a force in that direction. And that's what this example is. So, and I think, I think here, this was also just another example that I worked on in order to be able to like turn something. So, okay. So what do I want to do right now? In the very first video for this chapter, I kind of talk about the overview of all the examples and where oscillating motion. If anybody, for any of the members who were tuning in yesterday, you can help me remember. I remember one of the things I said as an example is plucking a guitar string. I think I also said waves. So when the video comes out, I want to be able to show some of these examples and have additional examples that I won't necessarily like make a video for, but that will, so that's one of the things I really need to work on right now. I want to see if I can get the sort of guitar string thing, the idea of plucking a string and having it oscillate like a wave pattern. See if I can make that right now. And so where I need to go to do that is I'm first going to go to all of the Nature of Code examples, and I'm going to look for the spring example, which is in, see these, chapter 3, 11. So this is my old, okay, great. So this is an example that I will be making a video about how to create this example. So let's duplicate it. I don't know if this is going to be a good base for what I want to do, but let's call this guitar string. So I don't know why I have things like set frame rate in here. This was made a very long time ago. Let's change this to let. It has this idea of a spring and a bob. And the spring can connect the bob, and then it can constrain its length. And then I can draw it as a line, display the bob. So what I really would prefer, and I probably should do this with toxic libs, but I don't know if that would be a cheat. Because ultimately, what I want is for this to have the idea of a particle, and then I connect the spring between two particles. So let's see. Let's see how I have an anchor for a spring. Ah, okay. There's an anchor, and then the force is calculated between another object and the anchor. So I think what this should be is I'm going to rename this. Oh, look how, oh my God. This is like the most ancient thing ever. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to really redo these. I haven't looked at this stuff in a while. So I'm going to rename this to particle. And I'm going to change it to a class. And then this is going to be constructor. So I have to convert this to be ES6 classes. I don't need to drag this anymore. I wonder if this is actually not a good base. You know what? I think I almost want to start over from scratch to like remind myself. This is helping me prepare for when I record the tutorial next week. So I'm not gonna totally start, but I'm gonna just get rid of this dragging stuff. I guess maybe I should keep it to be able to test it. No, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm going to make these things that I could drag around. I have it in there. There's no reason to delete it. Let's make the update function, the apply force function, this is constant, the display function, and handle click, like do I click on it function. So what you're watching me right now is literally just converting an old example, which before there was such a thing as classes in JavaScript, I wrote it in a different way. And these little semicolons are bothering me here. So I'm going to get rid of those. And the first thing I should do is just make sure it still works. The only thing I changed now is this is now a particle. And let's see, does this still work? Particle is not defined. Why is that? Sketchline 16 didn't. Oh, I renamed the file also. Okay, so this has to be particle. Okay. So this still works. Okay, what I want to do now is basically I want to make, I'm going to call something anchor. And I want to make an anchor, a new particle, which is at width divided by 2, like 0, basically. And the spring, I want to permanently, I want to change the way this works. I want to create the spring as a connection between the anchor and the bob without a separate function. Let's get rid of this constrain thing for a second. And we're going to add anchor update. This is weird because I did this in a very different way. But let's just see if I can get this to work. So now I probably should have started over. I think this is, I'm going to get, so this is no longer a thing. Connect A and B. So this, and it's okay. My children were calling to me. Okay, so this dot A equals A, this dot B equals B. And then the update function is going to, so I think the idea, let's put it in the constructor. So a spring should connect two particles. And then in the update function, I should calculate the force between the two particles. And then that's all. And then apply that force to both particles, but it should be it goes in opposite directions. So copy the force to this one, multiply by -1. I'm not sure if this makes sense. We're gonna see. I think I'm a little hesitant about the way that I'm doing this, but let's not worry about the constraint length right now. Cannot read spring line 82. I've got some like weird error in display. I don't want to display the particles in here. I want to display it as a line between these two things. Yeah. Okay, I will be done in like about 20 minutes and then we'll come down. I see it. Thank you. Oh, what have I gotten? I've gotten myself down a rabbit hole that I didn't mean to get myself down. Okay. This is all going to come. Okay, great. Okay, we're back to something. All right, now, let's see if I can get this constrain length to work. Minimum length, maximum length. So the vector between the two is between this dot A and this dot B's position. These are two particles. And reset the position and stop it from moving. Okay, I can't do the constraint right now. Help me, everybody! I've lost my mind. Oh my god. I should have started from scratch, says everybody. Oh my god, I definitely should have started from scratch. I thought I was doing something much simpler than I ended up. Welcome to the story of my life. All right, hold on. Everything's going to be okay. I'm gonna slow down for a second, and I'm gonna get rid of the spring. So I have two particles, okay, and I just want to see those two particles for a second. Let's get rid of the spring stuff. So there's going to be a spring-like update function eventually. And there's bob update, bob display, anchor update, anchor display. And we're going to apply gravity to both of these. Okay, great. So this is what I was hoping to see. All right, when I run this sketch, I see two particles both falling with gravity. Now, they look like something. I think they must have there's a damping effect. Let me take out the damping effect right now. Great. So that looks more, there's no damping, no resistance. They're both just falling. And then the spring exists, should be visualized as a line between those two. So if I go here and say spring.display, cannot read display of undefined. Let me create the spring. The spring should just be connecting the two particles and have like a rest length. It's going to need like a spring constant. That's what it should be. This idea of the spring connecting two particles. By the way, I'm going to totally redo this chapter, I'm realizing, because this is the way I should write the example. There's two particles, and then the spring connects them. And so the constructor it doesn't need an XY. It needs a rest. It needs two particles and a rest length. This should also be a variable, so this should be like K, like the spring constant should be something I pass in. And these are the two particles. Okay, and then, so I'm kind of starting over from scratch in a way, so I'm going to pass in the 0.2. Okay, so now I have this idea of two particles and a spring. Now, one of the things I definitely want to do is I want to say anchor.lock. So I want to have a function in the particle class where I'm going to say this dot locked is false. And then if I call the lock function, I'm going to say this dot locked is true. I'm going to make it so that this particular object cannot be moved. It's like locked. It's like anchored. So the anchor I want to lock, and if that's the case, I think what I basically would say is the update function would be rendered irrelevant. So this dot, if it's not locked, then update its location. So now what I should see is, right, the top one is locked, but the bottom one's just stretching out because the spring is not activated. So now in the update function, this should apply the spring force to both objects, A and B. So what would happen now if I were to activate it? A is not defined. Okay, so this is the function I need to work on to get this spring force to work. So in update, spring line 20, it's this dot A position, this dot B's position. Okay, and it's this dot B, this dot A, apply force. Okay, interesting. I think maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, all right. Yes. So you can see the spring is working. It's activated. Now, is my drag working? Yes, it is. Okay, great. So now there's no damping. There's no damping. So it's kind of going to spiral out of control. That's one thing I need to think of. But also, there is damping is something I need to think about. And what's the other thing I need to think about? Oh, the length constraining. I want to see if I can get this constrained spring to work. So how would I do that? So what if I wanted to actually call here, like spring constrain length between 10 and 200. So this is totally artificial, but I'm just curious what happens, and maybe I don't need this. What happens if I were to kind of constrain it so no matter what I do, it can't go beyond that? And maybe this is not, let's not work on this right now. Let's assume I don't need that for what I want to do. So first thing I want to do is just sort of see what happens if I don't lock the anchor. The problem is I need to be able to catch it. Okay. Whoa. So some interesting stuff is going on. I also let me get rid of gravity. Like I don't actually want gravity here. That was interesting to add. Yeah. So this is doing what I expect, but something weird is happening. It's like a little glitchy. So why is it a little glitchy? Handle click, handle drag. So I think I should be saying bob.lock. Well, let's see. Particle. Handle click. Dragging offset. Handle drag. It's moving the position. I think, and I think what I want to do, let me work on this lock and unlock. Let me make an unlock function. I mean, it's a little silly. I could just have one function that I pass in true or false. And we have a new member, Hunter. I need to give Hunter their random number in a moment. So I think also I need to, I think if it gets locked, I should be clearing its velocity and acceleration. like, why is it why am I losing it? Hold on. So, I mean, this is just an interaction thing, which isn't super important to what I want to do. Handle click, handle drag, stop dragging. Oh, only, so I think actually, why do I have this in mouse dragged? I don't think I want that. I think that's the issue. The particle is if it's being dragged. Yeah, I want to do this always. So, so I want to, not just when the mouse is dragging, I actually want to, I don't know why I had that. You'd sort of think it would make sense, but I want to be able to do this. Yeah, this is what I want to do. Okay, so now I can move this around. I think I'm going to put some damping in because, and there's probably a more thoughtful way to do this, but let's add the, let's add this damping back in. Let's also say that when I am, when I'm dragging it, it's also locked. So I think this is redundant now. So I think I have the same variable doing the same thing, but let me just lock and unlock it also when I'm dragging it. Yeah. Come back. All right, this is great. This is what I want because you're going to see what I want to do in a second. So I can move this around and then you can see they're like bouncing off each other. Okay, this is great. This is perfect. Exactly what I want. Nice little dampening. The reason why I want to do this, and again, I need to make a proper video tutorial that builds this whole thing up, but I just wanted to try to like make the example here during the live stream. The reason why I'm doing this is now in the main sketch, I should be able to, and sorry that I'm like in front of the code here. See if I can, which way do I move over? This way? Move over a little bit this way. Let me see if what I can do here is make an array of particles and springs. And then I'm going to say particles index 0 is this one. Particles index 1 is this one. The spring is connecting particles 0 and particles 1. Okay, and then for let p of particles, p dot update, p dot display, and then for let s of springs, s dot display, s dot update, and then p handle drag, and then here also for let p of particles, all right, so let's see here now. Okay, something went wrong. I'm able to drag these around, but I lost the spring force. Ah, springs index 0. There we go. And I can drag either of them, and they're always attached with this spring. There's no constraints. Should the spring update before displaying? You know, yes, to be consistent, I think that makes sense, but ultimately it's a draw as a loop, so it doesn't really matter. But now what I should be able to do, and let me just change this just so we can sort of see things better. And like the particle is so large, I want to, where's displaying the particle? Oh, this dot mass, there's a mass going on here. That's kind of not being used right now in this example, but that's fine. Let's make this 8. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this, you'll see in a second, is I want to do this in a loop now. So I want to create, can you see the code? I think you can. I want to say, let's just make 5 particles. And let's do them actually 2 at a time. And we're going to say the first particle, I, the next one, I plus 1, is, you know what, actually, let's do this. Let's make 5. Oh, no. I always need to connect the previous to the next one. So I'm not going to do them 2 at a time. So I'm going to start with that there's a previous particle, but at the beginning it's null. I'm going to say if previous exists, then make a spring which connects previous to particles index I, the one that I'm just making, separate them by 50 with this, okay? So the idea here, and then previous will equal particles index I. So in my loop, I'm making 5 particles where I'm connecting each one to the previous one. And where their location should be is I like times 50. Okay, so that kind of makes sense, but none of these are, okay. Right, because now I need to put the springs into the array and get rid of this. Okay, so now I should have, yeah, there we go. This is what I was hoping to create. Awesome. Now, I should really be using like a proper Verlet physics engine that's going to be less prone to error, but even just with the sort of basic idea, this works. And now what I would like to do is, let's say, let's make the height 700. Height divided by 50. And I'm going to do that many. That many. And then I want to take the first one and say lock, and the last one and say lock. Wait, it didn't lock. How come they didn't lock? Is my lock not working? Whoops. Oh no, particle. Locked equals true. If it's not locked, do all this, otherwise that. Oh, ooh, this is bad. So the lock is a permanent thing that's not, okay, I got it. So this should be if it's not locked and it's not dragged. I mean, like, not currently being dragged. So if either of these are the case, so locked and dragging are kind of different. And when I click on it, handle click, the lock is a separate thing. That's automated, but lock is something that I'm doing. Okay, I think this should fix that. All right, so the top are locked. So I want to make this like I'm plucking a guitar string. So they're going to have to be like much, much tighter. Right? Like, how do I make it? How can I get this to be like plucking a guitar string? So I probably need that constraint. Or like, what would, what if like connect them all to one single one. That's interesting. Offset equals 50. So if I do this, offset is now a variable. So what if I make the offset 10? What if I make the offset 150? So, and now, okay. So what will this do? Like, what if I make this 1? That's better. It's like tighter. And 25. It's kind of a cool example, but it's nothing like plucking a guitar string. The springs, hold on. So me, I am so me is writing a comment. The springs should be in the default state be quite stretched instead of having their natural length be the offset. It should be much smaller. That makes sense. So in other words, their what if I make their rest length half? That makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to 50. Yeah, and what if I did that in even more extreme way? Yeah, that's more like a guitar string. That's a little bit better. That's helpful. Increase the spring constant. Like, how much can I really increase that spring constant? Ah! Like, so one thing also that I can do now is not display the particles anymore. There we go. It's hard for me to click on anything because I don't know where to click. That's pretty good, actually. It's better than I thought I would get here. Let's try making the offset less, I'm being told. Whoa, that's a cool wave. Oh, that's wild, actually. This is really, this makes me want to do the following, by the way. To like sort of see this wave. All right, I'm gonna paste this into Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you should join. Here's a link to joining the Discord into the chat. But you should be able to get this code right now. If people want to work on trying to get it very guitar-like, I would appreciate that. And then I will be able to capture that to go into the beginning of the video. Let's see. Let me go back. Let me work on this a little bit more. I've got to finish up here. It's 3 o'clock. The baking class ends. It's time for our afternoon tea. But let's see. Let's see here. Let me go back to keeping them further apart. And let me see how much. And I'm just going to take that away. That was an interesting. Let's. Oh, this is irrelevant. Let's see how much I can push that spring constant. Let's like make it 5. I think that's probably going to make it go crazy. Well, that's pretty good. Six. I can't see where to pluck it. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, let's change something here. Whoops. And let's change this to. Just want to make it horizontal. Wait, what just happened? Ah. I'm a little confused why you don't just use the force to set the amplitude of a sine wave. Draw the sine wave instead of the line. Yes. So I do want to cover sort of like using a sine wave, but I was just trying to do this with the actual spring force, just to see how that would go. I have to just guess where's the particle. So this is great. I think that I can. I think that I can. This is going to be good enough for just like the quick example that's going to be shown in the intro video. I'm curious to like how far I can push like the stretch length. I think I need to, you know what I should do? I have an idea. If mouse is pressed, display the particle. So I can see where they are. If you wiggle it reasonably fast, you can get standing waves at multiples of the base frequency quite easily. Anyway, I'm happy with this right now. This is basically what I wanted to do. Just get like a quick example of something like this, which is perfect. I wonder if you can make an object drop on top of it like a trampoline. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Anyway, so I hope that people can play with this and make something kind of fun with it. This will be an example of this will be coming in my videos. Honestly, if this is trying to make this, I really should just use Toxic Libs, which is a library that's got this kind of physics engine built into it. I don't know why this is sad. This is very one of my kids' homework assignments for their like tech class was to make an oddly satisfying video, and this is very oddly satisfying. So I'm going to save this and come back to this later. Okay. I have to go. I haven't been doing a good job of showing community contributions. It's something I need to get back into. Maybe I'm going to be leaving in the next, turning off the stream in the next few minutes. This was kind of like the main thing that I wanted to work on. And hopefully people will play with this example and make some stuff. But let me just quickly get our wheel here, because why not look at one thing that somebody from the community has made? We can spin this wheel. Oh, you are not getting the sound effects. Quad tree and flocking simulation. Let's take a look at this one. So by the way, if you're wondering what's going on, in just about every single video that's on the Coding Train website, if you go to the page for the video, there's a place where you can add your own version of the video. And you can see, for example, for this one, nobody's added one. So this one is totally blank. And if you add it, it gets added to a database. Again, we're really got a lot of work to do to get all these systems talking to each other that I can then pick one randomly and feature it in a live stream. I aspire to do much more of this, but I'm just going to do one right now. This is created by Ernst Schmidt. The original challenge is the flocking challenge. And if we click over here, we're going to see, hopefully this is going to load. Oh, wow. So this is looking at my flocking video and presumably, and adding this sort of quad tree, which is a way to make it more, and Hunter Parks, random number, yes. Hunter Parks, thank you for remembering. I'm going to do that before I go. This is a wonderful methodology for improving performance in any type of system where every object has to check the location of every other object. So what the quad tree is doing is it's allowing each one of these voids to only look at their neighbors that are registered in one of these cells that's near to them. Without that quad tree, especially if I up the unit count to 600. This is amazing, by the way. I need to remember this when I'm demonstrating flocking because I'm trying to show all of these different behaviors and the capacity and how to make this work. This is incredible. This is like everything I ever wanted in my own flocking quad tree example. Big train whistle shout out to Ernst Schmidt, who created this. ErnstSchmidt.com is their website. We can take a look at it. And boy, everybody should check out Ernst Schmidt's website. Wow, that's really incredible work. Thank you for that. I'm hoping somehow the universe will help me remember when I go to make the videos about flocking that I can show that example. Really terrific. Okay, I can hear my children yelling to me. So a couple last things before I go. First, oh, wrong button. Hunter Parks. Thank you so much for your membership and support. Oh my God, this desk. I need to buy a new desk, people. Anybody have any desk recommendations? This is like about to like totally collapse. Everything's gonna just fall and crash to the ground. I want a nice standing desk that I can move up and down. Your random number is Hunter! Mwah! Page 273. Column 0, row 13,615, 49,080. That's your random number. Hold on to that random number. And I am now going to show you all very quickly 2 quick things that I am looking for contributions and help with. Let's go to the desktop. Let's go to whistles. And it's not a... All right, hold on, everyone. Let's go to github.com/codingtrain. I've got to go, 3:06. It's tea time. Repositories. Random whistle, here we go. This is probably the same as what I've got, but just in case. So let's take a look at this in Visual Studio Code. This is, that's fine. I can look at everything on the desktop here. This is a project which basically, what it does is, and let's, does it have a node server involved with it? I can't remember. It's just, yeah, no, it doesn't. What? What? Are you kidding me? Just web server prayer. Okay, working. What this website does is, so what was the random number there? Somebody give me, let's say Hunter Parks' random number was, somebody quickly, I can scroll to the past chat, give me one of your random numbers. Anybody from today, whether it's Abe, etc. I need a random number. I need a random number. You guys are so far behind me in time. It's no problem. Waiting. I'm gonna get one. Drum roll, please. The chat, come on. 49,080. Thank you, Hunter. So 49,080 was Hunter's random number. So now when I click generate, what this is going to create is a random walk pattern that's been seeded with that particular random number. So this is Hunter Parks' unique random walk pattern. And where this is going to go is, did I have this video under downloads, under desktop? Shoot, do I have this? This is all from, I showed it last stream. I wanted to show, is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. So this is going to go onto, and let me zoom ahead. So the idea is I'm making these train whistles for members, and that this pattern will be generated. It was downloaded here. Then it will be laser etched onto this particular whistle and sent out to the member. Now, at the moment, this is quite it's not that expensive, but quite a process for this. So I'm just giving this for people, I think it's at the conductors level. But eventually I'd like to give this to all members, and everyone in the world should have their own train whistle. But that's what's going on here. So what I would really like is help with this repo. I mean, this website needs to have some new features. For example, it needs to be explain what it's doing, designed a bit more nicely. It needs to have some kind of database associated with it where members can keep track of their numbers and see their patterns. Maybe I want the code snippet to also be generated as part of it. So if you would like to contribute to this, and of course it's on, there's a README here. Thank you to Violet who put this together. There's some suggestions for things we're looking to fix. And also I think it is live using GitHub Pages. So I probably should add a link just to the README of where it is. But if I go under settings, or if I just go to codingtrain.github.io/random whistle. There we go. You'll see it here. So this URL. So let me paste this into Discord. So I would love for folks, I meant to work on this more during the live stream today, and like add some features or chat about it. But obviously I didn't get to that. So I just wanted to quickly show that for anyone who's still watching. Please come in and help with that. The other thing I wanted to mention that I did, if I go back here to GUMP 500, what's the chance? No, this is not gonna, okay. So one of the things that I did, I'm gonna just show you this, that I learned, I taught myself, and I would like to make some videos about. Oh, there is a .env file there. Hold on a sec, everybody. Okay, no, doesn't have what I need in it. I have been learning how to work with MongoDB. I have some videos on Firebase as a database as a service. So I got it to work. Again, people have no idea what I'm talking about, but this was a project I worked on last live stream. And I think it's live, hosted via Glitch at GUMP 500. Let me go to, let me just open it up on Glitch. I'll show it to you there. Yep. So what this does, I know you can't see it yet, I'm going to show it to you in a minute, is we come back here. This project, which is on GitHub but also hosted on Glitch, it is basically keeping track of anyone on Twitter who posts a message with a certain number of miles that they've run, and then it keeps track of that miles, and it's that number of miles. Sorry, I'm a little brain dead all of a sudden. So if I go to Twitter and look at Forest 500, let's go to. I think this is where I was experimenting with it. So if you use this hashtag GUMP 500, here we go, Forest GUMP 500. This is just a initiative for people to motivate themselves to run 500 miles in 1 year, and I'm really trying to participate in this. And so I wanted to build something that could help keep track of people who are participating in this. So basically, if you go and let's do an example right now. If I say tweet GUMP 500, and I ran, actually today I did run, I ran 3 miles today. I'm going to tweet this right now. I'm going to go back to this project. I'm going to look in the logs. It's listening to Twitter. There you go. It got this tweet. It noted the time. It added, I don't know why it got 0.1 miles. There's a mistake in it right now. Why did it get 0.1 out of 3 miles? And it added it to the database. It found the document in the database that matched the criteria and updated it. And then now if I refresh this, whoops, I didn't mean to refresh the whole project. I meant to just refresh the web page. You can see that it went to 3.1 miles. I'm not sure why it got 0.1. So there's a mistake in it currently. So again, I wanted to work on this more, but because I want to have a nice visualization, more error handling. I want to figure out way for people who are developing it to be able to work with like a local database that's just a sample database. But I run out of time. I'll have to come back to this on another live stream. But these are two sort of like community projects that I'm looking for help and contributions. Come and join the Discord. It's a great place to discuss this stuff, and all of that, all the things. So stay tuned. This is it. This is the end of today's stream. I'm looking for my goodbye song. Thanks for tuning in to today's Coding Train live stream. Next week on the Coding Train, I'll be back talking about more things like I'm talking about right now. Oh, it added 3 miles. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. People are telling me it was not a mistake. Okay. This was not a mistake. It's finding this is a console log that's finding this particular user and showing what was there previously. And it doesn't show, that's before it was updated. So if I did another tweet, right here, people are replying to me. And if I said, add 2 more miles to my total, oh boy. I don't know. I don't think it'll work if I put more in there. I have to say 2 miles. The regular expression tracking is not so intelligent. So now if I go there, let's see if that comes up. Did I forget the, oh, there it is. Sorry. Now we see, yes, that was last Saturday, 0.1 miles. Then this one. So now it should be, the total should be 5.1. And the total is 5.1. So I have no way to, for a user tweeting from their account to subtract miles. That's something I should definitely add, just to set the total. Like somebody might be like joining this initiative. And again, this is all honor systems. So somebody could just tweet like this person did. I ran 500 miles. Like, I don't know who you're, so I don't know how to deal with some sort of form of moderation. This is just sort of an honor systems thing. But I would like to add a feature where if you said like subtract miles from my total, or maybe just set the total to. So if I were joining it right now, but I'd already run 30 miles, like 10 times, 3 miles each, like I wouldn't want to have to tweet 10 times. So there should be like a set total. So those are things I want to add to this. But really what I would love is some nice visualization stuff. And then I got to, I think Smarter Every Day is kind of running this initiative. I haven't contacted him to see if he wants to like do anything official with it. I mean, using the hashtag, I could also set up a Twitter account where you @mention it. And it's more of a bot that's listening to @mention and replying. But those are some things that I'm interested in people adding. Oh, I got to go for tea time. I'm 20 minutes late already for tea time. Just looking to see. So stay tuned for new Nature of Code videos coming out. I think, to be honest, that's my focus. The live streams should be about 2 or 3 per month. They're not going to be every week. I don't know what day yet. So stay tuned. Join the Discord. One thing I wanted to mention, because a lot of people are asking, how do I know when you live stream? So let me go into the Discord. This is where I post links to things. So for example, I should right now post a link to this Gump 500 project. Let me post that into Discord. But if you're looking to get notifications for when I'm live streaming, this is what you want to do. You want to join the Discord and subscribe. I don't use an @everyone, so you opt into these notifications, but I post updates here pretty frequently about my schedule. And for example, like today, it was very last minute, but I just said live stream incoming in 20 to 30 minutes. So this is where, if somebody could remind me how you subscribe to the notifications. I think it's just like if I go to, I want to go to a channel that nobody can post in but me just for a minute. I'm just going to go into useful links. Like, I think I'd say, like, I think it's just like exclamation point subscribe as the command. Yeah, it removed. So that removed the notification for me. So I want that back. So I'm going to subscribe, and then I'm just going to delete these messages. I'll do that in a minute because they don't need to be here in this channel. But this is how you subscribe to get those notifications. Thank you to the Distream bot team who maintains this Discord bot in the Coding Train Discord. And if you want to learn how to make your own Discord bot, might I suggest going to thecodingtrain.com under learning, under Discord bots. This is my whole set. There's now 6 videos stepping you through how to make your own Discord bot with Node.js. I do have some more that I want to make. We'll see if I get to them, but that's coming. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You were wonderful. I love you all. See you next week on, well, I don't know if I'll see you next week, but see you next time on the Coding Train. All right? Goodbye, everybody. As always, I always forget the this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot. I'm gonna do this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot song. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot. All right, I've got to shut everything down, everybody. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. This dot song. Never forget the this dot. Somebody compose that song for me.